धेरै भिड थियो रे एउटा ठाउँमा सबैजना यसो जाँदाखेरि के देख्यो भन्दाखेरि there was a lot of people around the room in the place and people flocked in to see what was happening. अनि के भइरा थियो भनेर भन्दाखेरि नयाँ एउटा गाडीको लन्च भइरा थियो रे. A new car was being launched. So there was a big fanfare and everybody cut the ribbon and they started the car. And the car zoomed in, everybody clapped, and it went for a distance of 300 meters. Then it stopped. So everybody got surprised. What happened? Kina rokyo ta gaadi 300 meter matai kudecha त्यसको पछि किन रोक्यो त भनेर they tried to figure it out. And when they opened the bonnet, they found that the car did not have an engine. अनि यो गाडी इन्जिन बिना कसरी चल्छ भनेर भन्दाखेरि यो ब्रान्डले गर्दा चलेको भनेर भनेछ. यहाँ पनि हाम्रो धेरै ब्रान्डहरु हुनुहुन्छ. अखिलजीलाई तपाई ब्रान्ड मात्रै हो कि तपाईको इन्जिन पनि छ? तपाई why are you qualified to lead this business?
I think more than me saying this, it's more for my work to speak. But we're a very old organization in Nepal. Our group, broadly Shanker Group, we're one of the largest manufacturing private sector companies in Nepal. Jagdamba Motors was my initiative when I got back after studying, and we've done a lot of good work after that. So to answer your question, I'm still learning how to get all those parts and all those nitty-gritties of how to get that engine working. It's a long process. I was lucky enough to have a family who set me in that direction. Now it's for us to just work on a certain path and recognize what is required in this country for us and then move forward.
Normally के भन्छ भने in a business family people are born with a silver spoon when they are born, so they get all the luxuries and everything that they get. आजकल त silver spoon मात्र हैन, golden spoon मात्र हैन, you are born with a cryptocurrency in your mouth, हैन? Satish, is it difficult or easy as a son of a business family to run a business?
As a matter of fact, जुन level को expectations हुन्छ, like हाम्रो family ले from start they are entrepreneurs, they are the real entrepreneurs. Just let's say एउटा level देखि they have come up to this level. त्यो level upkeep गर्न त definitely it is very difficult. It takes a lot of effort. जुन born with a silver spoon भन्छ, that is if you see from the outside त्यो देखिन्छ होला, but then the amount of effort झन् extra लाग्छ.
Definitely, it's a challenge to run a business, and I'm sure that you're doing well, and I hope those good work of yours continues. Abhimanyu, your father's boots are fairly big to fill in. How are you managing it?
So I recently joined. It's been barely 6 months, and as you rightly said, the expectation, it carries a lot of weight. Because if you've heard the saying, every crown comes with its nails. So from the outside, it looks like you're wearing a crown. But when you take it off, it's pretty painful. So in the first day itself, people expect you to be right. They have a lot of expectations. And you have no room for error right from the very start. So there is a lot of baggage that comes along with it. But at the same time, there's a lot of advantages. For example, I have the financial muscle where I have the room to make an error. And I can, if I try 10 businesses and 8 of them fail, and 2 of them do well, people will remember the 2 businesses. So that's an advantage that I get. But at the same time, people carry a lot of expectations, which puts a lot of pressure on you from the first day.
Siddhant, you've seen a lot of businesses now with business oxygen. Have you invested in business run by families, and what are the good side of it and the not so good side of it that comes along?
As a private equity venture capital fund, we do invest in businesses, and predominantly they're small and medium enterprises, and they are run by families, they're run by individuals, they're run with partnerships. But before I get into the businesses that we invest in, I'd just like to make clear that worldwide, 70% of family businesses fold up or sold out by the time the second generation takes over. And there are numerous reasons why. It's because there are so many things that the family businesses do not follow, that corporate structures, the governance issues, etc., that survive, have followed, that make it to the third, fourth generation. But now you see that mainly in India, you see that many of the older family businesses are now branching out into more professional management, etc. So the companies that we invest in embrace those, and we take them forward. We teach the management how it should operate. There has to be succession planning. There has to be professional management. There has to be structures and processes in place, etc. And normally family businesses that do not follow those, who want to give the CEO position to their son without his qualification in tune with the business background, is bound to fail. So with our intervention, you see, there's an outside intervention that brings capital as well as expertise that can dictate those basic fundamental structures that can make the business profitable and sustainable in the future.
Thank you, Siddhant. Akhil, I'd like to come back to you. You've been working for quite some time now. So could you share some of the difficulties that you had when you had to talk to your family, if you wanted to bring some change and they were fairly, can I call it traditional in their thinking, and you wanted to bring some change? Has there been any challenges on that?
Definitely, there have been challenges, but I was quite lucky to say, in the sense of when I came into work, because traditionally we were, you can say, a Lala-run company. You know how old Marwadi businesses are, but there was something. There was with my cousins who I'm working with. There was some, we wanted to move forward. We understood our challenges running the way we were. And I was lucky enough to come at a time wherein I could put in my ideas, and the group was changing. We're traditional, even though my grandfather, who's the chairman, is he's 60 now, but we are still a very young group. My cousins who are just 38 and 40 at the moment, and I started working 8 years back. So the kind of challenges I faced were a bit different. The kind of challenges which I faced were more on job, in the sense as to the decisions which we took were actually good for the business or not. While I agree with Sir here saying that businesses are bound to fail when a son comes and becomes a CEO. Not everything works well when seen from the outside as completely professional, because businesses are based not only on corporate principles but also on the ethics which have made us what we are today. My grandfather didn't clear the 10th grade, but I can proudly say today that he's one of the acutest and the sharpest trader, businessmen, not only in Nepal, in the world. And just to share a short story with you, my family was in Burma in 1950s. We were driven out of Burma. At that point of time, we had 22 global offices and one of the biggest textile traders in the world. But we were driven out of Burma overnight, and we were told to leave or we would be shot dead. You know, that was the military revolution which happened. My great-grandfather at that point of time, they left Burma overnight and they came to Nepal, and even though they had resources even at that point of time, they had to start their life again. And it was based on the simple ethics of how a business is run. So while I completely agree with you on how businesses should be run in a proper framework, it is very important to have certain ethics which make a business successful. And for me, that is what has been core to how we are changing the group going forward, is how we can take those ethics which have made us successful and organize our group in a way wherein we don't lose those ethics and we are able to, say, modernize or you can say westernize our governance in terms of a global level.
Abhimanyu, you became a director as soon as you joined, you know. So is it difficult to lead a team suddenly?
So it's actually not completely true that that happened. I graduated 2 years ago. So I worked in India for a couple of years. I worked in Delhi for a year at Samsung, and then I worked in Pune for a year in Bajaj. And I was working with my own salary. So it's not like I just graduated and walked into the director's room. But it's different, of course. In my company, I pretty much started off as a director. But I'm not looking after the entire company. I'm looking at just our automotive division and specifically our three-wheeler division. So I feel like once I gain a little bit of confidence from one company, I can start taking up more and more companies. Coming to the other point, so in our company, we do have general managers who run the entire show. They run all the day-to-day, and then I look more of the bigger picture. So we do believe in a professionally run CEO, as you were asking. And I think with that, it gives you confidence. And if you are ready to empower your team to lead the day-to-day operations, I think you can take it further much easier.
So is that notion of having a CEO only foreign and it's yet to arrive in Nepal, Akhil, or about the generational change and in the family changes that has happened, you know? How do you see that in your own company?
Not at all, actually. Most of our companies now have CEOs, and it's not a very old thing. We've started doing that for the last 3 to 4 years, but we're trying to bring in the best knowledge from what business we are in. So, for example, if for our motors business, we got the best professional who was there, who understands that business. For our alcohol business, we got someone from India who understands that business. For the steel business, we have someone from India with Steel Authority who is running our business. So we do now have CEOs who are running our businesses primarily because they do understand certain things better than we do. And that is, but even now for us, it's that is more on the operational front. And if it would still come to planning, I'm sure all the CEOs are on the board of every company, but the decisions are still taken by the directors. I don't know how right or wrong that is. We're still learning as we're going. But yeah, that is what it is for now.
Okay, Akhil. Satish, Siddhant also talked about men in the family, or do you have sisters, or do you have family members, women, who you think could also be part of in a family as generation as comes in? So do you think somebody else, sister or auntie or somebody else also being part of the family businesses?
Yes, we have a platform for all of our siblings or all of our family, because like recently even my sister, my cousin sister, because it is our family business, 4 brothers are running it, my uncle, my dad, my 3 uncles, so my cousins, they are also involved in the same business. My sisters, they are involved in the same business. A few of them are abroad, but the ones who are here, they are interested, genuinely interested. So they start from like I started, and they are not pushed to the top in the beginning, but they have to go through the struggles. But yes, they are involved in the business.
Abhimanyu, If you were given a choice, would you have been a dancer or a painter or something else beyond coming back to business? How do you align your individual goals to your family goals?
When I was in school, I wanted to be a taxi driver. I used to love driving cars and getting paid to drive all day. Like, that's the best thing in the world. No, but I think I'm fortunate that some of the businesses we're in is my passion. Selling motorcycles, selling three-wheelers is something I love. So I cannot complain about that. I did engineering in school, so I actually did not even do a business bachelor. But I think it is something like I'm loving every day. I think every day I'm learning so much, and I cannot see myself doing anything else apart from this.
Last word of wisdom for the audience, starting from Siddhant and coming this side, what is your message for young people in this audience? Can they become a CEO? Do they need to be part of a family? Should they get married to a business family to become a CEO? So what would be your...
That would help. But no, I mean, what I want to make sure, so that I'm not misinterpreted, is that I see fine young men who have done their time going to good universities, studying, coming back here. They didn't stay where they were studying. And that's a good pointer, that's a plus. And the families I've seen in the past 20, 25 years are investing in their children to go abroad, study, learn about what's happening out there so that they can drive their businesses in the future, dealing with companies in India who are so much more progressive, and the world. So that's a plus point.
You have studied here, you have worked here, you have gained knowledge, and you have gained experience. So don't go abroad. Nepal is a land of opportunity. And despite of the hurdles, see where there are gaps, there are opportunities to fill the gap. So commercialize it. Find a solution to it, but don't go abroad. This is a place where you want to be because it is a growing economy. So that's it.
Thank you, Satish. Thank you.
What I have understood till date is I just need to keep following whatever you think, whatever you dream, whatever your passions are, what you love doing. And I think you'll probably, if you can manage it in the right way, if you can manage your resources, if you can manage your time, if you can develop the skill sets required to do what your passion is, I think you'll be set on the right track. That's what I've understood. I'm not sure what's right now, but yeah.
Thank you, Akhil. Abhimanyu?
I also want to agree with Satish, first of all. I think if the educated people of Nepal don't come back, that's very detrimental to our economy. So I think even if you study abroad, you must come back and contribute to our society. On top of that, I want to say, with all the chaos in Nepal, I think entrepreneurship is born in chaos. And I feel like there's a lot of untapped markets. There's a lot of opportunities that have not been fully utilized. So I think if you cannot succeed as an entrepreneur in Nepal, there's no other place. I think this is the best place to be an entrepreneur. So go after your dreams and be focused. I think that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. What we see here is not the future of Nepal's business and industrialists, but they are the present. So let's give them a big round of applause, including Siddhant. We have had a wonderful discussion. We just wanted to shorten time so that the other panelists can also take time. From my side, I'm Suman Shakya signing off. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Suman Shakya and all of our panelists. We have a small token of love to provide to you. I would like to call Mr. Kumar Karki, Executive Director of Landmark Education, to hand over the token of love to our panelists. Mr. Siddhant Pandey, Business Oxygen Private Limited CEO. Mr. Satish Pokhrel, Agni Cement Director. Mr. Akhil Gupta, Shanker Group Director. Mr. Abhimanyu Golchha, Bajaj Director. Mr. Suman Shakya, Smart Paani Founder. Thank you so much, Mr. Karki. Thank you so much, panelists. And I'd like to request all of you to again take your seat.